Okay, so let's start with our engagement program, parents. They say that the conquest of learning is achieved through the knowledge and development of language. Bonjour, everyone. I, Shuchita Sharma, welcome you all to the parental engagement session on language development. I feel delighted to welcome our Saar educator, school coach, and expert, Miss Anshu, whose vibrant learning methodologies have always proved to be refreshing, inclusive, comprehensive, and imperative for any child's holistic development. Ma'am, your deep insights have always helped us to overcome educational and development challenges with the little ones. We welcome you all to this Parental Engagement 2021.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Also, I would like to thank and extend my warm welcome to our distinguished parents who have proved to be true partners with mutual commitment towards the academic growth of our Scottish children. Thank you so much, parents, for being a part of this parental engagement program. So now the question arises why this conference has been planned. Let's have a look at the key objectives of this conference. Here we are going to understand that how language skill is of absolute significance for every child's progress in later lifespan, both as social beings and in pursuing an education. We have to identify different ways of encouraging language development and literacy in the child through this conference. We'll be happy to discuss your questions and your differing perception to make this conference productive and to strengthen and enhance the holistic development of the children taking place at home and at school. Of course, we have to follow some rules to maintain the decorum of this conference. If you have any query in your mind, feel free to raise your hand given on your screen. And of course, if we all want a hassle-free conference, please do not unmute your microphones until unless it's very urgent. And yes, most importantly, be patient. All your queries will be answered by our Saar educator, Miss Anshu, at the end of the session in the Q&A round. You all can put up your queries and questions there. And also, please be specific and keep your queries and questions restricted to the language development of the child only. So, why this parental engagement has been programmed? Let's have a look at what is language development all about. So, did you know that during the first 5 years, new nerve cells grow and connect in the brain that enable the child to use language for self-expression? It is therefore important that the child is stimulated during this time to ensure their progress is not slowed and their communication skills are not affected. So, dear parents, learning to understand, use, and enjoy language is the critical first step in literacy and the basis for learning to read and write. And there are some general milestones that can act as indicators that language development, it's happening normally. So let us try to identify such indicators and work together, encouraging the language development in our little ones. And let us all, through this parental engagement conducted by ASPAM, abreast ourselves about one of the fundamental building blocks of a child's development, that is language development. Now let's have a look at all the elements that helps a child to develop his or her language skill. You can see that the reading and writing skills, the structured and non-structured play activities, the social and emotional development, thinking activities, problem solving activities, behavior activities, learning, all these things, they have a major impact on overall development of language and literacy. And I'm sure Ma'am Anshu is here and she'll be explaining us in detail about all these things.
Now, yes, of course.
Yes, ma'am. So, and now parents, that you are a part and parcel of ASPAM family for a long time, you know that we at ASPAM are cognizant of the fact that language skills and literacy are quintessential elements of any child's holistic development. It supports the ability of the child to communicate, express, and understand feelings, supports the child's thinking ability, and develop and maintain relationship. Therefore, Therefore, proper exposure to structured and age appropriate activities during the formative years of language and literacy development helps the little ones to develop efficient vocabulary, and that's really important. So let's have a look at some glimpses of this activity that we are taking up in ASPAM. Now you have been, these pictures are a privy to the fact that all the structured and non-structured activities are planned very carefully to enhance the language development at this critical age. So the reading sessions that we take up, the puppetry, the storytelling sessions, the word games that we take up, the riddles that we have included in our lesson plans, rhymes, sessions, songs, the tongue twisters that we take up sometimes, assembly time, especially the my talk time in the assembly time, competitions that we set up for the students, and the Friday fun activity, show and tell activity. You can see children coming up with beautiful backgrounds and props and presenting their ideas and information in a beautiful manner. So all these things are taken up in a very planned and careful manner to enhance the language development at this critical stage. Now, parents, every child faces his own challenges in the journey of language development. And this journey of language, and these challenges cannot be addressed in isolation. So now I invite our Saar Coach, Miss Anshu, to give her deep insights on how can we promote adequate language development and literacy of a child and provide, the child with meaningful medium to exchange his or her thoughts, ideas, and information. Now, everybody, please welcome Miss Anshu, and ma'am will be sharing her insights with us now.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I'm really glad that once again I'm here with the parents of ASPAM and with my little kids who are at home. And I would really take out and this is a time to really talk about Meenakshi ma'am, who has been an inspiration and has been a guiding force towards making these conferences happen at such a good pace.
Yes,
um,
I second that, ma'am. Absolutely. She has, she has always been there, and despite of all the unreckonable challenges, and with her exemplary guidance, she has helped us to make our endeavors successful as a successful event.
yeah, always. So basically, see, when we talk about language as a purpose, the first thing that comes us to us is that language is all about English. So we would not be facing problems at our homes with our mother tongues, and that would not be a matter of worry for us as parents. But we would like our child to be very fluent with English speaking and able to communicate well, because this is actually the need of the hour also. Going into global scenario, that language barrier which we had in our boundaries had been broken up, and now it's like everyone wants to communicate with every other person outside in whatever country, whatever place. And one of the strongest medium of communication is the language of English. So I have always talked about reading, how to make a child read the structure of English, how to make a child write, develop pincer development and fine motor skills. But today the session would be more about the speaking skills. Yeah, so just allow me to share my screen with you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, language development in the early years is all about the listening, speaking skills. The reading and writing skills come in the process of literacy as a part of language development. But today we would be more talking about the listening, speaking skills. Now, there is something which I want to bring out to parents today is what is an English learner? So, English learner is a term referred to those children whose first language is not English. That means the mother tongue, the language spoken at home in the environment is not English. Any such child who is into this category becomes an English learner. Okay. Then the development of language and literacy skills in a child's first language is important for the development of skills in a second language. Most of the time we feel that we are speaking to a child in just English in the very beginning years, 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, 10 months, and we are feeling that we are doing the right thing and we're just stopping the second language, that is Hindi. So this is something which I want you to know, that the development of two languages, like language and literacy of the first language, is important for the development of skills in a second language, because the development of language has already started in the womb of the mother. Okay, so whatever the child is hearing, the sounds, the structure is already there. It's there, and therefore we need to take it forward. So we have to consider that the first step in the range of expectation for children learning English as a second language is that we need to also focus on the first language. Now, whether we have to teach one language or we teach two languages, so this is again, after a research which has come out, that the brain has been mapped for children who are using just one language, and the children who are using two languages. So it has been found that the children who are using two languages are able to transfer their home language to the learning of a second language, and resulting in a more effective and efficient second language learning process. So if the child is using a mother tongue, and moving on to becoming an English learner, there is no harm that you are using your mother tongue language into the next stage language. It has also been given by NEP, the National Education Policy, that uh, that we can teach certain subjects without English also. So subjects like EVS, subject like maths, the skills are very different. So we should not be focusing just on the English structure and leaving away the whole creative and cognitive structure behind. Now there are four stages. Are you with me, parents? Are you with me? Yeah, ma'am,
Yes.
anyone? Yeah, Shichirama, fine. So the
Yes.
first
Yes, ma'am.
stage, thank you. So there are four stages of language development which we need to understand, because as Shichita ma'am was sharing, that the first 5 years are very important. So let's understand what are these stages and how do we understand a learner in this stage. So the first stage of a young English learner occurs when they attempt to use their home language to communicate with teachers and peers. So the moment they are out from the environment, and even if there is no English speaking at home, the moment they move out into an environment where English is the core, they are able to, that's the first stage. And here the children realize they are not being understood and must adapt to their new language environment. So what you will find is that if a child, you are speaking to a child in a particular way, and the child is not responding to you, so it does not mean that the child doesn't understand, but the child actually understands that my communication pattern is not being understood in the new language environment. So that, but the exposure needs to be done regularly for the child to grasp new vocab. And then comes the second stage, which is an observational period where children are not shutting down. Rather, they are attending to the language interactions occurring around them. So they might look silent, but they are observant. So the stimulations that we are giving, the simulations that we are giving, the stimulus that we are giving around them has to be such that they are able to grasp the knowledge from the environment. Now, typically here the child will attempt to communicate non-verbally using gestures, facial expressions, and often some vocalizations such as crying or laughing. So when a child, a parent is saying something, or a peer group is saying something, so through their body structure, their posture, their facial expressions, they try to understand and grasp and respond in such vocalized form or non-verbal expression. Then comes the third stage. Now, here the third stage is where the child is ready to go public with the new language. So that means now he understands that people around me are using it. There are certain words that the child has grasped, And he's now able to typically going to use it in public and master the rhythm and the structure of the language using telegraphic and formulaic speech to communicate. Now, what are these telegraphic and formulaic speeches? We have to understand. So they are very technical terms, but in our daily structure, we already understand how a child is doing. So the telegraphic basically refers to a few content words without the functional words. So there was an example, very beautiful example in the research which was given. So it says that if a child wants to communicate and says up, up with an expression, maybe the child is pointing to the plane in the sky, right? Which might mean to a parent, look, there's a plane. Or to an adult, look, there's a plane. That is what he wants to say. He says up, up, up. Because maybe the up finger pointing he has already structured out is towards something which is up. And there is another expression which is up, up, while pointing out or otherwise indicating a toy on a shelf, which might mean, can you get me that toy? I can't reach it. I truly hope that the parents here are, facing or are actually experiencing this kind of telegraphic speech or have experienced this kind of telegraphic speech with their children, because this is how they pick up the words, the base words, without any grammar, without any understanding. And even teachers, when now the classrooms are not there, the virtual classrooms are there, but how would the child would used to say if there is pain in the stomach? Pain, ma'am, pain, stomach. The point is not going to be why that I have pain in my stomach or I feel pain in my stomach. It is never going to come like this. They're going to start with the telegraphic speech. And the second part is the formulaic speech. Now, this is a related strategy that children use to memorize chunks of phrases of language, but they do not understand the function of these phrases. Where do you think this is going to come from? When again we are going to use the structure in their environment, they are going to pick up those chunks, right? So one of the words that they pick up quickly, the quickest. Can you give me one of the quickest word that they pick up from your environment? Anything? Any one word or any one phrase that you feel your child has picked up very well?
Yes, parents, please share your experiences.
Ma'am, a very simple word is very simple sentence is I need water. I mean, that is very simple. So,
I need is something which they have picked up.
yes, need.
I need. Huh? Because maybe you have picked up, you have already said, what do you need? What do you need? Right? Maybe what do you want? Right? So I want, this is a formula that allows for a host of possibilities. I want play, I want doll, I want go. Right? And children use such formulas as a strategy to expand their communication. So we are on the same ground. So this is what my research is saying, and this is what you are also saying, that you've experienced that. And then comes the fourth stage. Now, here we are making a child aware of new vocabulary words, and the child moves into productive language stage at which she is able to express herself using her own words. Now, the child demonstrates a general understanding of the rules of English and is able to apply them more accurately to achieve increasing control over the language. Now, here is a click point which we'll have to remember and you'll have to read to your heart. However, this does not mean that the child communicates as does a native speaker of the language. The child may mispronounce words as well as make errors in vocabulary choice and grammar. Such errors are indicative of the typical process of learning a language. Right. Now, I want you all to, can you have a pen and a paper for yourself, please? A pen and a paper? If you can.
Yes, ma'am.
Parents, please be ready with a pen and a paper.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I give you a sentence with a blank and three options. Okay, the sentence is the sentence is the librarian dashed the books. The librarian dashed the books. And the three options are ordered, misplaced, query. Ordered, misplaced, query. Which is the option that you would like to fill up in the blank?
Ordered. Ordered, ma'am.
Ordered. Anyone else?
Ma'am, misplaced also can be put.
We go in for the first structure of doing it positively, and then we go in for the negative ones. So ordered is like her work. She knew to be doing it. So ordered came in as the first structure, but misplaced is also correct. And why not query? What makes you understand not query?
I think it should be
Just the
past
most,
tense,
it's the
queried.
most appropriate one should be the order. That is why it is chosen like that way.
The most appropriate one. Okay, so what makes you think the appropriateness of this? It could be situational, maybe, you know. If I'm a person with a brain structure which talks about the right things at the right time, then maybe that was the rightest option for me. But if I would have been a person who has been notorious in my life, then maybe the misplaced one would have been the right thing for me. So what I'm trying to tell is that when you're reading this particular sentence, there are a lot of things involved in it. There is a particular structure of comprehension involved. So you're reading the words, but then are so reading and comprehension. So it's important that the children comprehend the structure. So many a times in stage 4 that we are talking about, if the students are English learners, they might have, they might be speaking the structure, but they might not be comprehending it. Right. One of the good examples is anybody if can sing the song Senorita for if you remember the song Senorita. Anyone remembers the song Senorita? The Spanish part of it, if you remember.
From the movie Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara.
Vara.
Yes. Anybody, please come up.
See, this is language. We have to speak. We have to communicate to each other. Okay. Any other song which comes like this? Which you feel is coming from a language which you don't understand, but you're still able to sing it? You're still able to remember it?
The parents are not singing right now, but when the song plays, we try to sing, with that language, with the different language. We try to do that.
Yeah.
We all do that. The
So,
first words go like "Kama podre" and like that. I don't know if I'm speaking it right, but that happens. Yeah, that happens.
Yes.
There is a song Un Dos Tres.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So could you give us a few lines to it, if you remember?
I just remember Un Dos Tres.
I also remember the song Do Lafzo Ki Kahani is also having some, I think, Spanish words in it. And because of the flavor of the song, we understand the context.
Yeah. So the flavor of the song makes you have the context, that's right. But we are just also, we would say we are saying it. So there is a difference in saying and communicating. Right. So when you are communicating, you must be knowing the meaning of that structure that you're using. But most of the times when the children are developing a language, they are just becoming parrots and picking up those sentences from their environment and just speaking them around. So the point which I just wanted to make here is that it's just we can't take that every word that the child is saying is actually making any meaning to the child. The child is picking, just parroting that particular thing which we make the child parrot. Many a times there are a lot of communication programs that you will find. They say we will ask the child to, we will let the child master English in so many, days or a few months. So what are they using? They're using a technique where a child is memorizing those phrases or those structures, and the child is able to produce that without even understanding. Right? So it's like, if you say, if you have taught your child that if someone asks you, how are you, so you would reply. So a few parents can give me a reply like, how are you? So what would you reply back? Anyone?
Yes, parents, how are you?
I'm good. I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
I'm fine. What about you?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm fine, thank
Yeah,
you. I'm
just
fine.
need
What
some
about
follow-up.
you? So, see, the responses are coming differently, right? So, different. So, there is no thumb rule that this is the structure of language communication. Whatever we will put into the environment will come back to us from our children. So, this was what I was trying to share with you. Just let me put my screen back.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that's what the point was, that even if they are using or trying to accurate the control of the language, it does not really mean that the child communicates as does a native speaker of the language. So we will always have to take into consideration that whether a child is a native speaker or a child is an English learner. And this is a bandwidth which you'll have to keep for yourself. If you put your child into an environment where the complete environment is all about the structure of speaking English, they will definitely do that. But again, the home structure or the English learning structure will make a difference. So what are the focus areas? The focus areas are the need, the curiosity, the vocabulary, and expression. First of all, we'll have to create a need for a child to speak English. Second is, we'll have to make it very, very, the process of doing the structure, it has to be very built with curiosity. The third is, the child must know the vocabulary that has to be used. And the fourth is the expression. Now, when we talk about the need, it's like when there is a child wants something, even if the child is not able to speak, the child would communicate with non-verbal aspects. The curiosity has to be developed by a parent or an adult in the environment, so that the child is led to a English speaking environment. Vocabulary is important, and I will give you a lot of activities today how to build vocab, because it's a conversion from the home tongue, from the home language to an to in a second layer language. And then the expression is important, because the expression helps to build on to the language structure broadly while expanding it. So I am feeling bad, I'm feeling extremely bad, the expression has increased. I'm feeling extremely bad because this is the reason. So the expression has even elaborated. So we have to build on to the need, the curiosity, the vocabulary, and expression. And I would request ma'am to please share the video. I will stop sharing.
Yes, ma'am. Please do that. I'll start my screen sharing then.
Yes, please.
Ma'am, before we go ahead, just one question. Don't you think the entire, like all age brackets behave in the similar manner?
All things like, I couldn't get your question, sir. Once more, please.
I'm saying just a simple question I want to ask you, sir. Don't you think the attributes that you explain as of now for a child or for a kid, in fact, all the human beings, I would say, like irrespective of the age bracket, behaves in the similar manner?
Yes, absolutely. Even if you're going for a management training with me, I would say it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So the young heart of a learner has to be the same. The need, the curiosity, the vocab, and the expression. I'll add on to a little before ma'am starts the video. the point is how well we are able to catch up on this in the age gap of 0 to 8 years. So that's the time where the neurons are being built so fast that whatever grasping the child is able to do, and the structure of habits which are made are going to take the child to a very very long run. So therefore early child education and these kinds of conferences are being done for parents who have little children in the age bracket of 0 to 8 years, so that they understand, each moment that we are spending with them is very very important. I hope this answers your question.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, over
Okay,
to you, ma'am.
should I play the video? Is it visible?
Yes, yes, please.
Is the sound there?
Yes.
Perfect.
Did you know that you can help build a child's brain? Everyday interactions can have a big impact on developing brains throughout childhood, starting even before babies can talk.
Scientists call this serve and return. Like a game of tennis or ping pong, a child serves by showing an interest in something, and the adult responds in a supportive way.
Finding moments throughout the day to do it is easy and fun, and you'll be building strong brains. You can use 5 steps to practice serve and return with any child. Step 1, share the focus.
When a child is interested or curious, you can see it.
What's this? It's a stroller.
Watch this child look at something in a book. Right there. Pointing shows interest.
Cow.
So does making a sound, like this child. And mom is paying close attention.
See baby moving those little arms and legs and focusing on the ball? That's a serve.
The key is paying attention to what the child is noticing.
Oh, you like those guys too?
Look at grandpa sharing the focus.
By noticing serves, you will help build curiosity, and you'll strengthen your relationship.
Step 2, support and encourage.
You can return a child's serve by saying a word of encouragement.
That's right. Very good.
Watch grandpa return this serve by saying thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Even a facial expression can encourage a child.
Orange.
Or emotion, like this mom dancing.
Time. A.
You can also pick up the object that the child is pointing to and bring it closer.
We need help to sit her down.
Things like helping and playing with the child let them know that their thoughts and feelings are heard and understood. Step 3, name it.
Yeah, the puppy. See the windows, the house.
When you return a child's serve by naming what they are seeing, doing, or feeling, you make important language connections in their brain.
He's got bumps all over him, huh?
This brain building happens even before a child can talk or understand your words.
You can name anything, a person, a thing, an action, a feeling, or a combination.
Clean up, everybody do your shit.
When you name what a child is focused on, you help build understanding. Waiting is crucial.
Yes.
When you return, give the child a chance to respond.
How are you? I'm good. How are you?
Note that the caregiver waits here for the next serve.
See this toddler navigating a new adventure? Grandpa is waiting patiently, returning serves by asking questions and then waiting to see what happens next.
You want to cover it?
Yeah.
Are you cold?
Yeah.
Oh, put this over your lap like this, okay? Yeah. Do you like that?
Yeah.
Oh.
By waiting, you give the child time to develop ideas and build confidence and independence.
Step 5, practice endings and beginnings. Children signal when they're done or ready to move on to a new activity.
Watch how this child shows it's time to start something new. Letting go of a toy signals an ending. Then picking up a new toy signals the next beginning.
Play with the giraffe.
Sharing the focus is important in this step.
Ooh, the big eagle.
Because this mom is sharing the focus, she notices when her child is ready to end one activity and begin something new.
When you can find these moments for a child to take the lead,
We'll try this one.
you support the child in exploring their world
Would you like to play with something else?
and make more serve and return interactions
Yeah, you wanna
possible.
sit there?
Serve and return interaction is critical for a child's developing brain. And the best news is that you can do it anytime, anywhere, without any need for toys or technology.
Look for small opportunities throughout the day, like while you're making a snack or while you're grocery shopping. What matters most is that you're doing each of these 5 steps. Notice the serve and share the child's focus of attention. Return the serve by supporting and encouraging. Name it, take turns going back and forth, and practice endings and beginnings.
Serve and return interactions make everyday moments fun and become second nature with practice. Try practicing with a child today.
Should I stop sharing, ma'am? Should we move on to the next slide?
I'll do that if you could stop share.
Yeah, okay. All right, ma'am.
Okay. So patience is the key. That's the most important thing that we have to understand, and we have to learn that patience is the key. And we have to use this serve activity as a part of our daily routine. Because the more you talk to your child, the better it is for the child. So patience is the key. And it is noted that it takes a lot of time for a child to develop this fluency which we are trying to get from the child. So it should be noted that full fluency, that means a complete comprehension, expression, reading and writing in any language, takes anywhere from 4 to 10 years. So we have to be patient with our children, and we have to understand that the more we spend time with them, the better it is. It is for any kind of development, that because the way parents are going to take care of the children, I think the next comes the teachers only. And this is what is important, that they are going to spend time with you and they're going to learn from you, because you cannot be on mute. They are going to do something and you're going to speak something, right? And this the speak and the do activities are going to be the ones that are going to develop language expression. Now, for effective acquisition of language, 4 things that we have to do. We have to understand what kind of exposure are we giving, what is the degree of curiosity we are developing with that exposure, what is the degree of freedom, right? And what is the degree of daily life experiences. So I take it from the other way around. I take it from the first most important thing for me is the daily life experience. So when I talk about the daily life experience, how often is my child being exposed with me to different daily experiences, going to different places, doing different things, accompanying me to the market, or accompanying me, to a theater, or to a doll museum, or to another room, to a park, to a playground. And when I have given this kind of a daily experience to my child, where the need of communication will pour in, the child will be curious and would be exposed to things. And then there would be a degree of freedom, which I would really, really talk about here specifically, is that at the very first go, we would like our child to be the best. That's not going to happen. The degree of freedom means when he's exposed and he can use his own mother tongue and can reflect back to the usage of knowledge of the vocabulary that he has. And we are giving a nod, and we are really, really appreciating for whatever, as if we are able to understand everything. If we are not able to understand, we need to give words to that child. So there are going to be activities here now which are going to develop the curiosity. And I would say the freedom part is something which we have to take care as teachers, as parents, that we are not going to harm the basic understanding that, if I speak, I would be wrong. I can't say correctly. Most of the times we feel that they are going to be, even for teachers, I would like to specify that they are going to be They're going to be learners who are coming from very different backgrounds. And if there is suppose there is a show and tell, it might happen that the show and tell has been really prepared well by one parent, but that exposure is not there for the other child. So we have to understand, and we have to really then do those kinds of activities wherein the parent involvement is not on a judgmental level. Right, are you understanding? I'm not assessing my child because the parent has prepared the child. So the assessment must come in where the child is actually being able to express with whatever knowledge we have imparted. So that becomes a part of freedom again, right? And when we talk about curiosity, so we have to really ask a lot of questions from the immediate environment. We have to have them conclude from some inferences out of that, like we saw in the grandpa's structure, the video here that we just had. What did he do? He said, he was picking up the blanket, so he said, do you want this? He said, yeah. So now then he extended it, he did not complete it. He said, okay, do you want are you feeling cold? He said, yeah. Okay, do you like it? No. So the freedom was there, and there was a conclusion, there was an inference from the activity and from the communication that was happening. So research also talks about that there are two structures in the brain development that are happening. One is the language and one is intelligence. Now the intelligence is developing differently and the language is developing differently for a few months, but after that both of them come as a one structure and get the development. So the child's brain uses language separately and intelligence separately in the beginning months, but when the exposure happens to the environment, both of them come again together, and together they are working. So the more you pick up references from the immediate environment, the better it is going to be, because it organizes the brain to work on the intelligence part. Okay, so it's wonderful to read out stories to your children, but if we are talking contextual, it is going to be great. Okay? So reading, I will not say it's not a part. So children learn in very very different formats. So one of the format in which they learn the most is the audio visual, then comes the movement, and then the tactile. So the tactile learning, the kinesthetic movement, and the visual and auditory learning are the maximum learning areas for a child. Of course we have got peer groups, we have got nature, we have learning from technology, we have learning from just by himself, that he wants to explore things and he learn. But VK80 is the style where the child learns the best. So now if we have to use, so this is like posters, the R is missing. Okay, so if you have to use you put your child onto the train of speaking, we need to first build on the vocab, right? So vocab can be done by using posters across. So whatever you are trying to put things, so just have a poster. So suppose this is a poster for the exercises. Now they have got different vision for the different names that they're going to look at, that you're going to speak, and then you can extend, you will obviously you expand your conversation with the child. I squat down and then I come up, jump up like a jumping jack, right? Do the lunges with your spread feet. Yeah, I do the stretch like this. I love this. I like this. This is easy. This is difficult. My hands move, my legs move, So the structure is, because of the posters, these difficult words would also come with ease. Right.
Anshu ma'am,
Yeah.
what we do in the during the assembly time, whenever we take up exercises for the kids, we make sure that we are putting up pictures on the slide, and then they're able to relate. So now if I'm
Yes.
not even putting up the picture and I'm saying that you have to do the jumping jacks, now they know. So yeah, this is actually we can relate to it.
Yeah, so it comes
Yeah.
in, that's what
Yeah.
it is. Once the first structure is visual. If I
Hmm.
talk to a child and I say, I am doing A for axe. Now axe is a word which the child is not able to visualize because this is not in the environment. it becomes difficult. But the moment I say A for apple, the child is able to visualize, and it comes with ease. So the more we are going to have the visual structure of vocabulary, the better it is going to be. And then you've got something which is called a pictograms. So the pictogram is my explanation with some kind of structure which is a connection. So see, I'm going to teach the days of the week. So it's coming as Monday with my mouse, Tuesday with the tree, Wednesday with the watermelon, Thursday with the thunder, Friday with the fish, Saturday with the star, Sunday with the sun. So if I can relate to things which are easy for them, and I say a Monday mouse, a Tuesday tree. So first is that they get on to speak, as you were showing me the slide for the activities that you do, the tongue twisters. So I would not say it's a tongue twister, but it is something which is the sounding ripple effect. So children really get onto these things well, and they are able to have the identification of vocab. The third activity which I would like to show is see, say, and do. If you want to give them some, structure where you feel they are not really understanding what I want the child to do, and every day I have to repeat, I have to talk a lot about it, then you can again those actions you can put as graphs, or you can put as pictures. And the moment this is a set of cards that I have with me. So the moment I am teaching my children and I say, okay, I want you to listen, so I use this card. Now I say, if I want to watch, so there is a card for the watch. If I say stand in a line, so there is a card for that. So whatever actions that I want to do with them, these cards help me to say what I mean, right? The second aspect of this is, if I'm using these individual pictures and I'm trying to explain that this means something, the moment it goes into a storybook, they are already aware that this means something. It holds certain comprehension level to it. And a structure with which you can do is the feeling faces always. Like if you want to express yourself, which the child is not able to see, whether any action of the child or any activity of the child has made you happy or sad, or you're tired or you're angry, you can make these faces, and you can help the child also use these feeling faces, because maybe you are able to give those expression, but maybe the child is not able to give the expressions as clearly. So these feeling faces can be used for them if you just take a printout, keep them ready, and they can be, so they can again build on to the social emotional structure. So whenever a language development course is happening for a child, please understand that the structure that I can speak, I am well off to speak, people understand what I speak, this kind of a confidence is very important. So they should not be stressed. Whatever ease we can provide, whatever activities, whatever pictograms, whatever pictures, whatever help that we can provide, we should be ready with that. A very important time is the circle time, which is done in the schools very often. Every day there is a circle time activity where children talk about just themselves, right? And there is a code switch, which is very important. So what is a code switch? Code switch is that the child can speak in whatever language the child wants to, and the teacher uses it to switch to a code that the teacher wants the language. So this code switch structure, even you can use at home, wherein the child will be allowed to speak whatever he wants to speak, but the parent is actually converting that and giving a vocab in English to make the switching happen to the new code, right? Do not stop. Do not say, I want to, mama मुझे केला खाना, I want to have केला, या मुझे केला खाना है, banana. तो आपको ये बोलना पड़ेगा. Okay, do you want to have a banana? Okay, fine. Take the banana. Come on, let's peel the banana. And this is how you are putting that word into the brain for the remembrance part. The structure is coming in. And again, there is a part which is called, so I always talk about the I. If you remember the I that we create, yes. teachers, you would be understanding the I. So there is an I which you can just create, just the letter I, and you can take it around, and maybe all the family members are sitting together, and the family members just on a Sunday morning, maybe you can sit together on a Saturday morning, or wherever you have time, if you're just sitting across in an afternoon, maybe, or and then this I is something, it's like a musical chair which keeps moving. So there is music, either you are playing or you're tapping or clapping, or or you have music around you, and then so this is like the I is moving around, and then you can develop small little sentences also. I like to. So today we are going to talk about just fruits. So I like to eat this, or I like this particular fruit. Then maybe I love, maybe I dislike, I do not like. So this is a structure which, if even if you do it for 3 to 4 minutes, is really going to build on to the language development. So we talked about that in the stage 3. We are going to give that structure where the child is going to pick up those phrases from the words. The phrases are going to come in, and the fourth stage will come in with ease when we are putting these kinds of activities in daily practice, right? And then is a time for my favorites, because everyone can talk about the favorites. So you might not be knowing the other person, we were knowing our own favorites. My favorite color, my favorite toy, my favorite person, and then goes down to the describing. So my favorites is again, so maybe you can make a calendar for yourself from now onwards, parents, and you can pick up, Monday I'm going to do this particular activity, because see, most of you might be working also. So there are this, or non-working, even the homemakers, you've got, so much to do. So it might just skip that, this is an activity which I need to do with my child. So if you are taking out time and you're just putting it on the calendar, today is my day for my favorites, right? So favorite whatever. So if we are favorite day or favorite person, you want to build on that. This is, today is an I day. So there's going to be an I which is going to roam around. Today is going to be a time when we are going to talk about feelings, or when I'm going to talk about to my child about a heart to heart talk. So tell me what's happening. Just that. And you have to be a listener for a child. Just listen, and a few vocab words, just that you have to pick up. Okay, this is something which my child was struggling with. These are the 3 words that I'm going to put into the brain of my child, and these 3 words are noted down somewhere, and you have to build on now a structure that you have these 3 words there. Maybe a movie, maybe a rhyme, maybe a song that you can pick up for those 3-4 words, or you are bringing in more examples around, or making an environment around that, right? So this heart to heart talk. When children go a little more, that you can talk about the conversation cards. So I would say this is for somewhere around age group 5 onwards, 6, comparatively very good, wherein you've got these conversation cards, and these conversation cards, packed up, maybe an old pack of cards that you have, and you can write over these a few sentences. And today we are going to talk about what. So, okay, pick up a card. Which color do you want? Pick up a card, you talk about this, you say, okay, the card is this, and the child can really play with you also. Now this, once the conversation cards are in place, then the child can go out and play it with someone else, with his friends, because he's going to be comfortable. Okay, with any elder in the family, with any person who's not known. And then you can build on, and you can say, okay, you want to make friends, write a few things on the cards that you would like to you want to know about your friend, and you can ask those questions and the person can answer. And this is how you can make pack cards for all your friends. So maybe different things for all your friends, so the conversation cards can move on. Again, for some higher grades, we have got the magic jar. So like the conversation card, similarly you can make chits, and you can put topics. Many a times that I've found is Indian structure, we are not very good, or children are not very good with the present and the past tense. I had weared this, so the structure two things which are of importance is the present and the past usage, and the elaboration, understanding my child, understanding my own structure as to what I'm trying to ask. And the third important thing is the verb agreement. So may have you must have heard people speaking about I makes a good pizza, right? So there is a verb agreement which is wrong. The make should coming, the make should not come. So you can also make these kinds of cards, chits in a jar, and you can talk about it. I also use this jar as a kinesthetic activity for children. I use this jar for whatever so not giving them chocolates or sweets every time that they do a good thing. There are certain good kind of things written out here, where I can pick up a card, the child can pick up a card, and it could be a goodie day for the child if he has done something good. So this is how we can even pat them. And then the one important, very, very important thing is visual thinking strategy. So before you move on to the story structure, before you start reading the stories, always pick up books and let the children ask, like, what do you see in the picture? And just let them say something about the picture. Once they say something about the picture, lead them to the structure. Lead them that why do you think you are saying so? What makes you say so? Okay, just flip through the book and see what is happening, one page after another, then another, then another. Let them come up with something of this strategy that they find they would be speaking about these pictures. Because if they are able to do this, they'd be very, very confident, and there's going to be a lot of freedom, because they understand that everything that they say is correct. There is nothing wrong about it. And then you move on to the story time, where you are saying, because you see, when you're doing a story time, the book is there with the teacher or the parent, and maybe there are children more than one, and they're not looking at the story, they are listening, they are visualizing. So visualizing will only happen when they have already had the pictures, right? And once you've done a story, do a sequencing. So what is the sequencing? Just revise. So what do we do? 1, 2, 3, 4. This was done in the story. 1, 2, 3, 4, the steps of the story. But now you come in and you give them different pictures and say, what do you think you should be doing first? What out of these pictures would come first? So can anyone just talk about it? What do you think should be coming first? Anyone, Suchita ma'am, you can pick up any one parent maybe.
Okay. Then the first name I say is C is Adya Sinha. So Adya Sinha's parents can answer this question.
What is the sequencing of the pictures that we have here? Can you put them in sequence? What will come first, and then next, and then next, and then next?
Adya Sinha, are you there? Okay, Ahir Roy's mama, are you there? The next name is Ahir Roy.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, please go on.
Ma'am, first they wake up.
Okay.
Then get out of bed.
Okay.
Then brush teeth.
Okay.
Then get showered.
Okay.
Have breakfast, get changed, and go to school.
Have breakfast, get changed, and go to school. Anyone else? Anyone else who's got something else to say? Any other sequence, or this is the correct sequence?
Yes, any changes, parents? Anybody?
Usually after shower, they first get changed and then
get changed first
have
before
breakfast.
breakfast.
Right. That's what I was saying.
Right. So there could be an option. So both of you were correct. The only thing is the sequence in which we are doing things. We tend to go with those kinds of sequences. But the important part is some things are going to be there with the language structure, but there are certain things which are going to come with the intelligences that you're talking about. So I'm saying the language and the intelligence coming in together and making the structure for a child, where the child understands through pictures also, even if the child is not able to read, and is able to sequence that structure and then make a creative writing after that. Right? So how would a paragraph writing or a creative writing come into being? When the sequencing of structure is going to come well. So that is how the language is going to talk about. Okay, one day I talk about this structure, and the second day I say, okay, there was a problem, um, the alarm didn't go, and the person was very late to go out of bed. Now, can you suggest what would happen? Would the child come up with something? Do you think the child will come up with something? If you
Yes,
have children
ma'am, they
across
do.
with you, you can try. You can try this
Yes,
out with your
ma'am, we
children
have
right
tried
now.
this. We have tried this in our classes wherein we put a picture and we give an initial line, the sentence. Like once upon a time, there were three friends and they were playing in the garden. And then they have to, spin the story, spin the yarn activity. And the children, they come up with such interesting stories and they come up with such good add-ons to the story. So it is very, good to watch them speak and understand that thing.
Yeah, so that's what point is. So every day we can do this kind of an activity wherein, so if I talk about the most important activities which are coming up, is one is the visual thinking strategy, the other is like the questioning where we talk about this, then comes the circle time, comes the sequencing, and then comes the role play. So role plays children love to do, but we need to supply the proper vocab with pictures before we go into a role play. Right. So first we need to talk about these things by using them, by giving them, understanding. So suppose that there is a mom who is acting as a doctor, and then she has, okay, let me give this, and there's a situational thing. She talks about it, blah blah blah, and then you will see that fourth, fifth, sixth day, if you're doing it like this, the child is also coming up with the vocab and the role plays. Okay. So so the structure is like every Monday you have something, then Tuesday, then Wednesday, then Thursday, then Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. One particular activity, one small time, 5 minutes to 10 minutes, that's it. And you will have something which is called a wow moment for you once you come up with this, right? And I always prefer the sensory corners where I have something to taste, something to touch, something to smell, and something to listen to in the house, because there has to be one area where they can just distract out their own structure and go out. They use their energies and explore by their own, and then they are able to get these senses well and then speak out well. And of course, the last is the I spy. So, what is the I spy and how you can play? We have talked about it many times. I spy. Do you know what's an I spy? What's an I spy? Because we've talked about it a lot many
It's a
times.
hide and seek game.
Yes,
Ma'am, it's to find out, sir, anything like this.
find out anything. So, how can you take it for vocab development or language development?
Ma'am, hide and seek. Yes, ma'am. Just to hide anything, and like we have to search that what is where it is. I mean, we have to search, and we have to hide any one object and then find it.
Okay, and if the child is not able to understand you, so suppose first is you say a name, you're saying a name. I want you to go and find the bandage, suppose, right? You're teaching vocab, so definitely with these whatever work you want. So I want you to go and find the bandage, right? If the child is not able to understand, then next you give the usage, right? And
It and the color and the shape, size, like this. That it is like ये red color में होगा, ये rectangle का होगा, like this.
हाँ, सो आपके लिए मुश्किल होता है ना उसको समझाना प्रॉपर इंग्लिश में, डिफिकल्ट होता है ना, तो you just stick to your mother tongue also, and you keep using the other structure also, right?
Yes.
So don't worry, just everyday activity, every day 5 to 10 minutes, if you just pick up these activities and you start with them, they are going to really help you out. So this is all from me.
Ma'am, can you also
floor.
share the conversation card screen again?
Yeah, I can share all the cards here.
Yes, bolo.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes.
bolo. Can you see it now? I said, and I see the listening skills come first and the speaking comes after. So can you see it? He could grasp, but to speak that mom, now you speak up, yes, was a difficult thing, right? So let's really be patient with our children and do these little, even the question jar you will find very beautiful with your children. It really works well. So over to you, Shuchita ma'am, now that the floor is open for question
Yes.
answer.
Yes, parents, if you have any query in your mind, please feel free to raise your hands and we'll be happy to take up your queries. So I can see one hand up, Sam. The name is Sam.
Yeah, hi. This is Samita's mom.
Okay, yes.
My question to you is thank you for a nice and very well designed presentation. I wanted to say that all the things that you have pinpointed actually are very helpful. So, is there a way we could just get a summary or maybe like in a jotted down way, point wise, press an email or something that we could remember to do with our children every day? You know what I mean? Uh,
See, so whatever knowledge that I have is not my knowledge. It's shareable knowledge, right? So this is
right.
not something that is a copyright for me. I can request the school to send the PPT on mail. I have no problems with that.
Yeah, sure, we can
Okay.
do that. I can jot down that point and I can just, make it happen.
Great. Thank you
So
so much. Very helpful.
thank you.
Okay, next we have Sarang Dev Singh. Yes, please go on.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, my question is कि अगर बेबी ने कोई वर्ड सुना है तो उसके माइंड में किस टाइम तक कितने टाइम तक रहता है लाइक जैसे होता है ना हमारे घर में टीवी भी चलता है या हम कभी किसी से फोन पे बात करते करते कोई भी वर्ड बोल दिया बेबी ने उसको सुना और हम चाह रहे हैं कि वो उसके माइंड से निकल जाए बिकॉज उसकी एज के लिए दैट इज नॉट गुड तो ये मैं चाहती हूँ आई वांट टू नो कि कितने टाइम तक कि एटलीस्ट वो फिर से रिपीट ना हो वर्ड
देखिए मैम, कोई भी चीज जो है वो एक बार में नहीं जाती है ब्रेन में. इट इज नॉट दैट एक, देखिए किसी भी चीज को रिमेम्बर करने के लिए बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग इंसाइट होना चाहिए, बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग इम्प्रेशन होना चाहिए ब्रेन पर, तभी वो याद रहती है.
आई एम सॉरी मेरा मैं थोड़ा सा उसको बताना चाहती हूँ एक्चुअली अगर उसने वो वर्ड को रिपीट किया है मींस लाइक मैंने उसको सुना है कि उसने ये वर्ड बोला है और मैं चाहती हूँ कि वो उसको भूल जाए माय क्वेश्चन इज दिस आई एम सॉरी टू से तो
नहीं, मैं आपकी बात समझ गई हूँ. आप ये कहना चाहते हैं कि किसी तरीके से उसको हम भुला सकें.
यस
तो मैं आपको यही बता रही हूँ कि जो प्रोसेस याद रखने का होता है वो प्रोसेस होता है कि जब बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग इंप्रेशन होता है तभी एक बार में कोई चीज याद होती है. आप याद कराने की कोशिश कीजिए, कोई भी चीज बहुत जल्दी याद नहीं होती है. तो अगर हम जो जो रिलेटिवली अभी आपको क्या करना है, आपको सिर्फ कूल रहना है. आपको धीरे धीरे वो वर्ड अपने एनवायरनमेंट में से हटाना है, कॉन्शियसली हटाना है, और आप देखेंगे जब उसका यूजेज खत्म हो जाएगा, चाइल्ड वी हैव टू जस्ट रिमूव दैट इम्प्रेशन कि वो आए ही ना उसके पास में, और अगर आ भी जाएगा तो भी धीरे धीरे आप उसके ऊपर इंटेलिजेंस फोकस करके लॉजिक से रीजनिंग कर सकते हैं. ओके, यू आर स्पीकिंग दिस, डू यू थिंक दिस इज गुड? मम्मा बोलेगी तो अच्छी लगेंगी? नहीं लगेंगी. आप बोलते हैं तो भी अच्छे नहीं लगते. आप ये सुनेंगे तो आपको अच्छा नहीं लगेगा. तो आपको उसके साथ में थोड़ा सा इस तरीके से ट्रस्ट बिल्डिंग करना पड़ेगा, जिससे कि जब आप बात बोले कि अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है, उसको समझ में आए. सो फर्स्ट इज कि हमें उसको कट करना पड़ेगा अपनी लाइफ से, एंड सेकंड इज कि हमें ट्रस्ट बिल्डिंग करनी पड़ेगी, जिससे कि वो बच्चा आपके कन्वर्सेशन में ट्रस्ट रख के उस चीज को छोड़ पाए. Right? So this is the two important things which are going to happen.
Thank you.
Okay, next we have Aprajita. And I would, we'll be really happy to see your good faces. If you're coming up with question, please switch on your cameras also.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, sorry. Um, I just want to ask a little bit on that my daughter actually I just took her to a bookstore and she got so many books she liked. Some of the story books were not were a little like for big children. Yeah, I encouraged her, and what she does is she through the pictures on her own. So we really like that, and but I don't know how to because it's the kind of like the stories are very long and I think they get but the good thing is she just reads through the pictures and she speaks in English on everything she feels about those pictures and makes the stories on her own. So is it good, and how we should proceed further on this?
Very nice. I much congratulate that you're happy about it. um, the thing is that there is something known as abridged stories, है ना? कोई एक बहुत बड़ी स्टोरी होती है तो उसको छोटा करके बताने का एक तरीका होता है. If she is reading through pictures, I think the next operation should be visual thinking strategy ka step number 2 and 3. So step number 1 is, what do you see in the picture, right? She might also be sequencing through the pictures. कि this is happening now, mama see, now this would happen, now this would happen. और उसमें आपको हो सकता है लगेगा कि there are certain things which she is adding on which is not in the story, but because of her creativity she is adding on those things that it's her imagination. That's perfectly fine. We should not curb it at all. Now when we talk about how to take it forward, so we can say, okay, this is what you see in the story. Tell me, why do you say so? Why do you say the girl is sad? Why do you find this as a pretty frog? Okay, where do you think this is situated? Hmm? सो इस तरीके से जब आप उस पर बिल्ड करेंगे तो वो एक ही पिक्चर पर आपको बहुत सारा काम करके then you would say, okay, now tell me. So you have come up to with a conversation, not just the storytelling, not the reading out, but you have come to a conversation where she will be ready to explore the environment of the picture also, not just the picture as just a character. So right now it might be just the main character of the picture that is being explored, but then you will go beyond with the structure, and then you say, okay, now you tell me what will happen next. So though she might have taken up the next picture and she would have known, but then you can also take it into something which is known as, okay, if this would not happen, then what? सो आप जैसे ग्रेड 10th में आप देखेंगे या 8th में देखेंगे, यहाँ पे जो इंग्लिश क्रिएटिव स्ट्रक्चर होता है, अनसीन पैसेजेस होते हैं, एक्सप्लेनेशन होता है, क्रिएटिव राइटिंग होती है. देयर इज लाइक चेंजिंग द एंड ऑफ द स्टोरी. What is that you did not like? What is that you like the most? Where is all this coming from? This is coming from the aspect of visual thinking strategy. So visual thinking strategy is a very, very strong tool to build on communication and thinking skills. So why are you saying so? Oh, mama, this is so pretty. Peter, what makes you say so this is so pretty? The eyes, the color, the dress, the flow, maybe just the hair. What is it? So you go into descriptive knowledge of the functional word, and this is how you can go beyond with your language skills. Try it out. Maybe the next time we'll have one more experience from you.
Sure, ma'am, sure.
Yes, okay. Next we have Summer. Summer, we'll be happy
Okay,
to see
first
you
of all,
also. Please switch on your camera.
my camera is on, ma'am.
Okay. Now we can
Sometimes it
see you.
just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for your valuable suggestion, ma'am. Now, my question to you is that can you suggest the milestones should be achieved by a child by the age of 5? And my second question is that my child's speech is very loud. What should I do to make him calm and to speak in a particular way?
Okay. So there is something which we say that, for a young child, some things, yes, of course, be inbuilt, but there are most of the things which are coming from the environment again. We have to just understand what is that which is coming in. Again, the patience is going to be yours. Maybe you will say once, you will say twice, you will say thrice, but still the listening will not happen. So the patience has to be yours, that you keep on repeating that structure. Let's be quiet. Let's be quiet. I am listening to you. Maybe there are going to be certain positive reinforcements that you can give if he's quiet. And maybe you can also give negative reinforcement in the sense that I can't hear anything loud. I only hear something which is soft. राइट सो नेगेटिव रीइंफोर्समेंट का मतलब हमेशा मार पिटाई या चीज को ले लेना नहीं होता और पॉजिटिव रीइंफोर्समेंट इज नॉट ऑलवेज गिविंग गिफ्ट्स टू योर चिल्ड्रन it's also about how you feel about and you are able to express that feeling is also bringing the positive and negative reinforcement. So one is that. The second is, when we talk about language, there are various milestones on various layers, whether the need is there, the curiosity is there, the vocab is there, the expression is there, the structure of understanding is there. So there are various things. What I can do is, with Shuchita ma'am, I can share some websites where you can just go and find out all this, because there's, see, it's a huge structure, huge. It is not something. So when they said do a language development thing, I said 1 hour language development. So I said okay, let's do it for speaking skills only. So जब हम लैंग्वेज डेवलपमेंट की बात करते हैं, वहां पर फोनीम ग्राफीम एसोसिएशन भी आता है, वहां पर राइम रिदम भी आता है, पिकिंग अप द राइट वर्ड भी आता है, योर फोनोलॉजिकल अवेयरनेस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट. सो वो सब भी हैं. So I can share that website, which maybe Shuchita ma'am can again share with you, and you can go and really find out that particular milestone which you want to find out.
Sure, ma'am, we'll do that.
Excuse me, ma'am, one more thing.
Yes, please.
That it is better for the child to learn more than one language means at the same time, because actually we are Gujarati, so our mother tongue is Gujarati, right? And the speaking language in the school will be Hindi and English. So it will be mixture of all the language for my son. So it will be beneficial for him, or it will have adverse effect on him?
It's very, very good. He's very fortunate to be learning 3 languages at one time. So the more the number of languages, the more the connections in the brain, and the child is able to understand at one time only. Okay, this the segregation is also happening. So जो cognitive area है वो भी बढ़ रहा है, जो visual area है वो भी बढ़ रहा है. So the gray matter is actually more in children for who learn many languages in that particular age grade. So you don't have to worry. There are many children who learn this and are far better in their skills of speaking, because they are able to make more connections in the brain, right? So your child is fortunate, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
I think there are 2 more parents, then we'll wind up with the session. So we have Anaya Rawat, and then we'll take Sarang Dev Singh. Okay. Yes, Anaya, please go on.
Hello, ma'am. This is
Anaya's mom.
Anaya's mother. Very thankful for the this presentation. And as far as I was watching from the start, and I would like to say that Anaya is a very good child, and we start a communication with her in English from when she was born, and we just started with her in English, and she's very good in speaking English, and she can read stories by herself. She can cook stories by herself. She can, like the ma'am said, become like she can play with her toys. She sometimes she become nurse, sometimes she become cook. So then I just want to say how can we go further on her communication. So she's very talkative. She loves to talk about the different aspects. She loves to she has a very good vocabulary, and sometimes she use those words we don't even know. Oh, she know, or she also knows these words. Okay, that's good. Right now she was playing with her toys, and she didn't said I am a air hostess. She said I am a flight attendant, and we didn't tell her that okay, the a flight attendant is also called an hostess. So that's a very good point that she's learning. So how further we can grow her in her communication level? That's my question is.
Okay. So now that she already has the base structure,
Yes,
the
ma'am.
point is, what exactly do we want for our child? What is that layer that we want for our child?
So I just want to like she is she is very talkative, and she is like to do everything whenever like okay she is very sharp in her mind. She like thinks
Okay.
by her in her
So
mind.
when I look at language, the
Yeah.
aim of the language is usage of the language with rich vocab.
Yes.
Right? Like
And
you
she
said
used
right
very
now,
good
air
vocab.
hostess
Yeah. Yes,
and
ma'am.
flight.
And she used
So
very
there is an activity which is
Mhm.
called the word web.
Yes.
Word web activity wherein we use antonyms or synonyms,
Okay.
right? And for any word that you give, she needs to have a few antonyms, a few synonyms, and with the synonyms, she needs to build up a few sentences.
Okay.
And then comes the creative writing. So suppose you give a word like rich, and you find a few parts of the rich, a few words, or a greedy, or a boy, maybe a lad, right?
Okay.
So there could be something with a young child. So these are the kind of synonyms that you build up. And then you use this to build up, like you said, she cooks up her own stories. You can just ask her to narrate stories with the new words, with the synonym words.
Okay, ma'am.
That will really help her to build her vocab and her creative writing skills. Because finally, the aim of the language is to speak expressively and to write expressively.
Yes, ma'am. See,
Yeah.
just see, like I know that we started second language very late. So she has a little bit problem, but she knows if like her mom and dad speak in English, or she will talk with us in English. When she know, okay, that kid or that older person is not able to speak in English, she try to speak in a native language, which is Hindi, and she try very well. That is very good point in her. She is learning, so I'm very happy with her that in that area. And even she like to like when she is watching, she likes I think she sings a Chinese poem from the song from the YouTube, and I don't know like okay, one day I was listening and go, what language are you? Then I saw that she's watching the Chinese and she's singing that the song together.
Girls are generally towards language.
Okay.
So the brain of a girl child is more right brain than the left brain. So they are naturally towards oriented towards language and stories and speaking. You will find not many boys speaking aloud, when they grow up, but girls speak a lot. Why so? Because naturally their brains are tend to do that. But when we are focusing from 0 to 8 years and we are doing activities, even the boys tend to move towards a holistic brain development. So sometimes there are children who are gifted with certain brain properties already. And second is like if you're giving an environment to the child, it really comes in that way.
Okay, ma'am.
Right.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
It was a wonderful, wonderful session. Although ma'am could not make it to the session, but yes, I would like really, on behalf of the entire pre-primary wing, I would like to extend my hearty thanks to our mentor and guide, our principal ma'am, Meenakshi Zarabi, for giving us this opportunity to understand this quintessential element of a child's development. So we always thank her for her support and encouragement in making this endeavor a successful learning experience for each one of us, including the parents and the teachers. And Anshu ma'am, thank you so much for gracing your important insights on one of the essential elements of child's development, that is the language development. Thank you for being a part of this engagement conference, clearing our differing perceptions and solving our queries related to this important development challenge. And thank you for the vibrant and interesting learning activity that you've shared with us. Although we're carrying some of them like really in our online classes, But this session encourages us more and gives us more creative ideas to conduct them in a better way. So that's really a good thing. And parents, thank you so much for your participation. You were amazing today, and I hope it proved to be a learning experience for you as well. Thank you so much. So
Yeah,
goodbye
thank
for
you
now.
so much,
Yeah.
parents. Thank you from my end also. Without you, nothing is possible.
Wait.
Absolutely. And goodbye for now, but we will meet again on more such platforms. Stay tuned and take good care of your health. And
Anshu,
I can see, yes.
ma'am, if we wanted to connect with you, can we just connect with you also individually?
Yes, of course. Shuchita ma'am can share the number. Yeah, the school can share the number. That's not a problem. Or
Okay.
you could just write me an email. My email ID is anshu.sar@gmail.com.
Okay. SAR.
Yes, SAAR star.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day, great learning. And I'm so happy, because so many things have already been conducted and we can see the results. So it also proves that whatever researches I'm presenting are actually workable,
Yes,
This
and
as well.
with each session that we are conducted with you, and the parents are becoming more, they are involving more in such kind of conferences and speaking their heart out and sharing their views. So that is such a good thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.